Welcome to the Uncivil Mentality Podcast. I'm Erik Vidal.
And I'm Reilly Kilbride.
Let's go. Let's go. So thank you for joining us on this episode of The Story of Reilly.
This is going to be an uncomfortable journey because I really don't like talking about myself, but I think it could shed some light on what my life's like, where I got to where I want to be, and hopefully inspire people that want to do this. Maybe you can do something similar.
It's not really talking about yourself. You're just answering questions about yourself.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit better when you
We're just
say
having a
like
conversation, bro. Just you and I.
So, where do we want to start?
I'm going to ask you the same thing or tell you the same thing that you told our guest. So Reilly, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you started, the dynamic of Carolina CrossFit, how you became a firefighter, family.
Well, I grew up in a single parent household. My parents, they divorced when I was pretty young. My dad kind of went a different direction and did his own thing, and I had to, have a single parent and get taught how to be a man by my mom. So it kind of taught me a lot growing up quick. Watching your mom or your parents have 2 to 3 jobs to support me and my sister, it hit different as an adult, but when you're a kid, it's kind of hard to see that type of like dedication and hard working. So my mom's a killer and she raised a killer as well. So my sister and I both are, just really, really hardworking because we had to. I remember, so my birthday's in May, and I learned pretty early that if I managed my money right, I could get my birthday money and work it to Christmas, and get that Christmas money and work it to my next birthday. So I learned how to budget and like financially finesse the system as a kid early. So that's great about having a May birthday. But you know, when I think about what my mom did and how she worked is always a constant inspiration for me and always a kind of a guide to know what's right and to know what to do and do what's most important for your family. And that's kind of like been my light, my shining true north, as people would say, going forward as an adult. Um, yeah, I've always been inspired by my mom, and that's who I am. And I was telling someone the other day, I don't regret anything. Like I would never change anything about how I grew up or, my dynamic as a kid. Never. I would never change it because it's totally made me who I am today. So I would never change a thing.
Right. I think sometimes to live with regret and man, I wish I didn't go through this or I wish it didn't happen to me, but ultimately it makes you the person that you are,
Mm.
right? So anything your mom passed on that you want to pass on to your kid?
Oh man.
Okay, just one
There
lesson.
a laundry list. I hope that they are a hard worker. Like be the hardest worker in the room and don't look for the don't look for the validation. Just do the work because you know it needs to be done. Um, when you have 3 jobs as a parent, you're working your butt off just so you can take care of your child, and sometimes they had to sacrifice that time. But I always went to school with what I needed. I was always able to play sports and do travel basketball and things like that, and just work hard and do it for your family, do it for you, do it for what you know is to be the right thing. Um, yeah, I'm not naturally talented. I would disagree with that, but anything that I've done well with in my life is just monotonous, mundane work and just showing up ready to work and showing up and being the hardest worker in the room. That's got me way further than talent ever has. So yeah, just hard work.
I recently went to Columbus, South Carolina. I saw you wake up early. Well, I didn't see you personally. I wasn't there when you woke up, but I saw you get to Carolina CrossFit early, get your workout in, even assist with the class, and then go on to your career, which is a first responder, firefighter. Um, Talk to me how Carolina CrossFit got started.
So this is a really long, we'll make a long story long, like our friend Caitlin said. So I started doing CrossFit while I was in college at the University of South Carolina in 2012, 2013. I actually saw the CrossFit Games on ESPN 10, 12 years ago and saw Rich Froning doing ring muscle ups and said, that looks cool. I had worked in a gym pretty much my entire life. I got my first job at like a YMCA, and so I'd always been into fitness, always been into lifting as I got older, and I just was super inspired by that and Googled Columbia CrossFit on Google and found the gym, and I walked in there on the first day, and there's people of all different races, different body types, different probably financial, different jobs. Like it was this crazy thing to see all these different people from different ways of life all doing the same thing and all working out together, and I was blown away. I did my intro class with probably like two other people, and some of those people are still around at our gym now, so it's really cool. But I started getting into CrossFit, and then I got the competitive bug. So I started doing it and I started seeing results. Like I don't think I had muscles until I started doing CrossFit. Like I was an athlete. I played basketball growing up, but I never had muscles. I was kind of like just doughy, like soft. Like maybe there was some muscle underneath all the fat. But then all of a sudden, 6 months into CrossFit, I had fucking abs. And I was like, holy shit, dude, whatever this is, like I look good. I would go back to my hometown and people would ask me if I was doing steroids or anything like that. And I would laugh because I was only like 150, 60 pounds, but I looked completely different, and I was starting to see these changes in my body, and I just got into it heavy, and then I started, eating right and training right, and with that, coming to Carolina CrossFit, I just had so many positive, influential people come into my life. Original owner, his name's Paul Beckwith. I mean, he started to treat me like I was his son. He, I mean, put time into me, gave me an opportunity to come on staff as an intern. Um, and an intern looked like you work for free, and maybe you can learn some stuff from the other coaches for probably about a year. And I was loving it so much that it wasn't a job. I made sacrifices in my life to be able just to go work for free. And like I loved that passion of doing that. And I would clock out from my job that I was getting paid for, drive across town to go coach a class for free, and then drive back to my other job and clock back in. So that was where I was at a certain point, and I met my best friend, Joey Pellegrino is his name, and literally just so many mentors and just solid individuals, solid good character and people, and they were so inviting into me, and I think it was the family that I needed in that time. The people were just super quality. Like I needed quality people at that time in my life. I was 21, 22 years old. And at that age, you could either do one or two things. I think I quit officially going out and partying during the week because I knew I had to pay for my CrossFit membership. Like that was like, I can either go out 2 or 3 times a week and, go spend money at the bars, or I can't and I can pay for my CrossFit. So I made that decision, and it was probably one of the best I ever made. But yeah, I started 2012, 2013, got on staff 2014, and started coaching, going to school full time, like I say close to 30 hours, like, the normal schedule for a student,
Hmm.
and my hours that I wasn't in school, I was coaching. I probably did that for about 4 or 5 years. Then, yeah, I started to manage the place after I graduated. And so I went from the intern to the coach, the kind of probably one of the most like the head coach you could say, and then to the manager. I think that was like integral for where I am now, as a owner. But seeing every facet of the business and being in every place, seeing how each kind of step grows on each other, and you're able to see a different aspect of the business as you go up that tree. But then even in that time, I was lucky to meet my wife. So I met my best friend. I met my wife. It's just been a place where all the good things in my life have been tied to this gym. And you can look back, and I can trace them back my best friends, my wife, my now future, now my son's gonna grow up in this gym. It I can't like when I start to talk about it, like I just get emotional that every great thing that ever has happened to me is come from this gym. And that's how much it means to me, really. It's kind of crazy. Sorry. Whoa, that hurt. That was a little slip.
No,
But
man,
yeah,
it's natural.
man, sorry.
You can feel, bro.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel. Like you're human. You're a man.
That's just how much I love this place, man. I really
That's
owe
real.
everything I am. Like my character, my moral code is intertwined with this business, and it's crazy to say it out loud like that. It got me going a little bit.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, shit. But yeah, so we officially passed our 1 year anniversary as owners of the business. So lived on the West Coast, and similar, I needed to go out of this circle and out of South Carolina and out of my bubble. I lived out in Phoenix for 2.5 years, 3 years, and learned a lot from those gym people and owners. But I learned so much in that time that when I originally came back to South Carolina for a firefighting job, the opportunity presented itself to buy the affiliate. So we had some friends and we put together to buy the gym, and then the year we've had the gym has been another layer of the vantage point of owning a business and learning things, and it's been great. It's been fun. Now it feels different now that you own it. Like when you're a coach, you put your blood, sweat, and tears in this place, and there's part of you that never feels really appreciated, and that's really important for us as owners is to make our coaches feel, really part of what's going on, and incentive based, and giving them opportunities to make money because sometimes like I felt like I was giving everything, but my name wasn't on the on the budget at the end of the year. It's hard, but now that you're the owner, you see you're on the next level overseeing a lot, which is different, and it changes the way you operate a lot.
Well, as the owner, you have the responsibility of the overhead,
Mm.
and if it goes out of business, that's
Yeah, yeah,
your ass
yeah,
is out of business.
yeah. We're on a lease, so at
As
the end of the
compared
day,
to a coach,
mm,
okay, now they don't have their part-time job, or they don't have, the responsibilities and discrepancy between management, owner, and employee. It's it's two different things.
but I
But
think. Oh, go
growing
ahead.
up in the as an intern, coach,
Yeah,
manager, being having all those facets and all those job titles to ultimately be now the owner, you can empathize and you can, you know, give credit where credit is due and incentivize, etc., because you were in those shoes. So
yeah.
that's
Well,
credibility
guess
right there.
as the as the owner of the gym, I still take out the trash and I still scrub the toilet. So, like I have that intern mentality, but now as the owner, like though I treat my this place like it's my house, and I think that's why
Okay,
we've done well. But
sure.
when we decided to, when we got boots on the ground and we were the owners, the two things we wanted to protect at all costs, and these are non-negotiables for us, is our coaches. We wanted to make sure that they're taken care of, and our culture. Those are two things that we wanted to, number one, make always important. Those two things, if it sacrifices or harms either of those two, they got to go. So on our coaching standpoint, we wanted to put people in positions where they feel most powerful and educate them to do more things, give them opportunities to make more money, give them opportunities to bring whatever ideas they have for the gym to the table. Completely transparent with our coaches. Like, we've done this for a while, but we don't know anything. Like, we are still learning right with you as well. We have a lot of experience, but we're open to all ideas that you guys can bring to the table to make our gym better. We don't have it figured out. There's no affiliate owner handbook of what the right things are to do. So when we talk to our coaches, we say, hey, if you've been to a gym that's had a great idea, tell us. We'll make it our own and we'll recreate it. Anything you guys want to do, we have I'll give him a shout out, Coach Kyle. He's in his physical therapy program, and he brought a mobility class to us. He's like, hey, once a week, I want to do a mobility class with the athletes. And honestly, we're like, boom, what time do you want? We'll we'll pay you to do it. Like we facilitated that idea. Boom, be a rock star, execute. Cool. Like that's a great idea. And we've always given the freedom to our coaches and, you know, encourage them to bring ideas to the, like bring food to the cookout. Like bring
Sure.
ideas, man. We're really open to facilitate a lot of things. And it's not doesn't have to be a mobility class. It could be a fucking book club. It could be a bodybuilding club. It could be really anything you want to do. And we now have the platform to facilitate that. So our coaches just have the freedom to do really whatever they want, which was what we wanted, number one. And our culture, we wanted our gym to feel like a family cookout. That's the vibe we wanted. We knew that we had some competitors in our gym and that was okay, but we needed to treat everyone like they were coming to a family gathering. We want every class to feel like though your fellow participants are part of their family. That's how close we wanted to make the relationships with our gym members. Because when you have that type of connection with people, they're gonna meet you halfway and they're gonna want to be on the bus. You know, I think that anyone can teach someone to do a clean and jerk. Anyone can teach them to do a wall balls, but when you know someone's family life, you know someone's what they do for work, just you know, make these personal connections. When you check in with a member of like, hey, I know your kid was going to college. How was their experience? Or, you know, I know that you do this for work, you took a trip. Tell me about your trip. Like building those types of relationships with people is what built our culture. And the fact that Megan and I have been here for 10 years, we've done a lot of that work. We have a lot of good connections and good personal, you know, foundational personal connections with a lot of our members. So they knew us from when we were kids, when we were in college. But, and I think that really can be taken and transplanted into any business and any any organization. If you take care of your people and you make people feel like they're a part of your family, everything else will really take place that you want.
Yeah, take care of people, they take care of you.
Hmm.
And I saw your professionalism firsthand. It
Yeah.
was professional, courteous. Someone walks through the door, you're greeting them, good morning, uh,
Yeah. Whoever.
whatever. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Uh, it gets unclear or those lines get blurry when there's emotion and there's drama and gossip and a culture. And I did not see that
Mm. Well,
at your place.
we've had to mitigate some waves in the pool, you know, like, but like I said earlier, if it threatens our coaches or our culture, it needs to be handled. We need to find a happy medium, or guess what? Maybe this isn't the place for you, and we're cool with that too. Like we can love you and you can be our friend, but if this isn't going to work, or is this going to sacrifice what we've working hard to build and to get momentum with, we're okay with if you go somewhere else, and that's fine.
That's fair. Yeah,
Yeah, I that's been a learning process for me too because I've watched and I've had you know personal friends decide to go other places, and that's fine, and they're still my friend. But guess what? I, I can't sacrifice the goal. I can't sacrifice the mission. You know, I can't do that. So we can be buddy buddy, but sometimes it just doesn't work out.
I understand totally. Where do you see Carolina CrossFit's path and continuing down this CrossFit methodology and
Yeah, man.
how's that working out?
I mean, I think that I am so loyal to this methodology, and I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm so loyal to the ideas or the foundational type idea of what CrossFit was. We both were early adopter of the methodology and the training, and we got so into it so soon that any other training to me just seems irrelevant. Like it just seems like it doesn't work. It wouldn't be the best way to prepare for the unknown or for the unknowable. For me personally, it will always be a part of my training style. And just that's just the way I operate. I'm not going to win. I might not be number one, but I'm not going to be last. And that's through any test of fitness. So I'm not about to be the fastest or the strongest, but I'm damn going to be in the middle about everything. So
Sure.
the CrossFit methodology, I think, is always going to be there. And but as the future of the gym, like we we want to be affiliated for now. We're trying to find the resources that they provide and utilize them to make it feel like the new increase of the affiliate fee is worth it. And I can be convinced. Like if I'm educated, I can always change my opinion. You know, I'm not set in stone of what I think, and I try not to live in a world of absolutes, but we're we're wanting to learn more of how we can utilize the things that they offer. And we have, and sometimes things that they even offer, we have chosen not to, and that's on us. But I love CrossFit, and I'm almost loyal to a fault. I'm loyal to a fault. I believe so much in the foundation of what they have going on, or have kind of proved in their tenure of being, you know, on in fitness for the last 20 something years, almost 20 years. So yeah, man, I believe I'm a devout practitioner, and I think that there is a way forward, and I think that it'll be it'll be good.
Real quick, voted number one CrossFit gym in
Yep.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, hopefully by the time this drops, it'll be out into the public. But yeah, we were voted recently in the year that we've taken over to be the best CrossFit gym in Columbia. And that is just truly based on people voting. So we didn't do it. We didn't like try to gas our name up or anything like that. And that just goes to our members in our community and people that want to see us do well, and that's super powerful as well. And I feel super honored and humbled, and just it feels cool to see the benefit, like the reap of what you sow, and things like that. And I never want to change that mindset of treat your people well, and you know, take care of the people that take care of you, and that's always going to be the goal from now to our 1 year anniversary, hopefully to our 20-year anniversary.
How'd you celebrate the 1 year anniversary? The
We
Throwdown, right?
officially, yeah, we had the competition, but I don't think the magazine, I think today's the day that they release the winner. So I think it's coming in the next couple weeks of what that will look like for us. But yeah, we previously won this under a previous ownership in 2018. So we have won it in the past, but not under our ownership. And I want to get like a trophy or something for Meg and like give it to her, because, and that's another thing that I'll talk about transparently, is that my partner, my wife, Megan, she has been an absolute all-star Heisman Trophy winner, if you must. Like, she's been able to take this role that she didn't really know what it was going to look like, and she's been able to just trailblaze and completely take over the space in an administrative and ownership role. She's our tax, our accountant, our general manager, our, you know, operational, you know, making sure we have everything capacity with everything involved in the gym. And as someone's partner, to see them just, you know, level up. Like, I've seen her go through some jobs where she didn't feel, you know, she was, you know, fully optimizing her abilities. And now she's just finally ready, and the timing was right. And she just stepped up and stepped into this role. And it's just super inspiring. Like, I'm also like, yo, what happened? Because a switch was flipped in her brain, and she just went into like boss lady mode. And it's fun because I knew her when she was, you know, working in sales and selling Lululemon, like on the floor as a very low level employee, and now to watch her be an entrepreneur is powerful. It's cool. Um, she's just a rock star, man.
A pillar. And it's survival of the fittest, right? Those that are
Mm.
most adaptable will survive, you know. So it just
Yeah,
goes to show uh, how truly capable she is. And having meeting Meg and yourself, man, just keep on doing what you're doing.
yeah. We're getting ready to have a little baby boy, so that might change things, and that'll be fun to watch. How we then navigate owning a business and raising a kid, but there's no other place where I'd rather this kid grow up. Like, this is the best swimming pool for this kid to be around. Like, even if it's not for me, there's so many positive male, female, you know, there's so many people in this gym that are going to put good energy into my child, that I'm just like, this is the best place for them. Like, they could be somewhere else, but they're going to be here in a gym watching people, you know, push themselves, and do the things they're going to see people doing hard tasks every day. And that's what I said. What I wanted to pass down to my kid is hard work, and I think this is a great place to see that. And not only from an athletic standpoint or from a physical fitness, there's, like I said, quality humans in here that have, put impact on my life, and now they get to do that again for my son. It's powerful, man, and I'm super excited for that because I know that there's only so much work that I can do in my future son's life. Like, I'm gonna do my part and as much as I can, but other people, just like in my life, they played a huge role. Like, you're gonna have mentors, you're gonna have coaches, you're gonna have just people that are just around that impact you and show you the way. So I know that the people and the quality of person we have here at Carolina CrossFit is going to be a great example for my son, and I'm super excited for that. Oof, man, but dude, I'm fucking. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, no, fuck you. Fuck your feelings. Here's another question. If you had
Yeah.
to pick one, career firefighter or CrossFit owner slash coach, which one would you pick? Which route would you take?
um, I would say, man, it's like kind of choosing between children because I love the jobs completely differently. Because when I show up to be a fireman, I am the bottom of the totem pole leadership wise. I do what I'm told to do. I lead myself, and I try to do the best of what I can there. But when I come to the gym, I'm upper leadership, and I have to make decisions. And I have to make decisions for, every level of employee we have, our community. Decisions have to be made. And the beauty of it is that I have opportunities to be both. I have the chance to be a leader in the fire service, and I have a chance to be a leader in the gym. So I don't know if I would choose because I have the two best jobs in the world, but yeah, I'm stuck. I don't think I could choose.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll
It's a
allow it.
tough question. Tough
I know,
question.
I know. Because as a career firefighter, best job in the world, you have the ability and responsibility to make an impact,
Mm,
in the community, in your firehouse, in your crew immediately. And on the other side, as an entrepreneur, CrossFit owner slash coach, uh, you have the ability to do the same, you
what's
know?
it's we I understand that both of those jobs have that impact, and I can't imagine doing anything else that doesn't have that kind of effect on people. Like, I can't imagine working on software or coding computers or, you know, like, the customer service industry is where I feel most comfortable, like client facing and being there for people when they need it. So I don't know why or how I program my brain to do that, but that's where I feel most efficient. That's where I feel most valued, and I'm doing what my purpose was here for. So yeah, choosing those is too tough.
Well, you just said it, that servant lifestyle, having that notion that you're able to help out others and in turn helps out yourself.
Mm.
I feel the same way sometimes, and sometimes I feel like I'm selfish because I'm doing this to like validate I guess my being or my purpose in life, etc. But I do that with my family.
Yeah.
Helping them out in turn helps me out and feel that validation as a man and as a provider, as a father, you know, brother, son.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a weird thing that we get to do. Like, we get to help people, which is the most addictive drug I think out there as well. We talked about substance abuse, but
it is
being able
addiction.
to, yeah, to help people is powerful. Um, and I think we underestimate that a lot with the job that we do. We are there on people's worst day. I know it sounds cliche, and it's on like bumper stickers and stuff like that, but that's what we do. Is that we show up at the worst time and we help.
Exactly.
At the end of the
That
day, that's what it's about.
that's my mindset.
Yeah.
I'm here to help you out. I got you. What do you need? How can we serve you? How can we solve this? How can we move forward? Take you to the hospital? Check. Let's go. Give
Yeah,
you a
let's
ride.
get him out of here.
Favorite place you've lived?
And so I was an
Currently where
army
you're at
brat.
now?
Yeah, I mean, I love Columbia. Columbia will always be home for me, but the 3 years I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, like beautiful. The weather was great. I mean, mountains, fitness oriented people, like it's completely different lifestyle than people live on the East Coast to the West Coast. Like I said, I grew up here in the South, so the location and just the topography, like there's no mountains where I lived, and you go out there, it's just like a desert wasteland, like with mountains everywhere, and it's different. It was very beautiful. I loved it because the weather was great 10 months out of the year. I have two relatively cold months. I wouldn't say it's even that cold, but yeah, Phoenix, the desert still is number one to me. I do love Columbia, but seeing the Grand Canyon, seeing, different parts of the Southwest was great. I loved it. I would eventually love to retire there or, live there in my RV. That's the goal.
You head out west?
Yeah,
You would?
eventually, maybe
Yeah.
maybe when I retire.
Okay.
So Megan and I talk about this all the time. We're putting all away our retirement for a really nice RV, really nice, just big, luxurious RV.
I think that's the move, man. I see all these campers and all these mobile like RVs and sprinter
Mhm.
vans converted into like a domicile. No property tax, right? I mean,
Yep.
yo,
Look, I mean, I guess if it's big enough, we can host some people, but having less, I think, as I grow up is more important to me than having more. Like having,
okay,
if I could fit my whole life into an RV, I'm right where I need to be. I
okay.
moved from Phoenix or from Arizona to South Carolina, and I was able to pack everything I owned into a Ford Fiesta, which is pretty impressive, but that's how I want to keep it.
I think the most my most simplest times where I just lived off a duffel bag.
Mm,
I had all my belongings or my clothes in a duffel bag. I had my documents in a folder, and that's all I owned. And the lack of responsibility and the lack of owning stuff, it was so blissful
mm.
to to say the least. I want to say the happiest time in my life, or one of the happiest times in my life. I owned a Civic.
Hell yeah.
I, I had three part-time jobs. I owned no real estate. I lived in a garage. I was renting a garage from some old lady, from some old couple. I was going to school. I was in the Army National Guard, and I had a part-time job. So technically, I had three jobs. I was super busy, and I was loving life, bro. No responsibility. I didn't own shit. I had no debt. Simpler
That's
times,
how
my
my
dude.
life was in Arizona. I lived in this, what they call it, a mother-in-law suite. It was like connected to the house, but it wasn't really the house. It was a
Okay,
flat, one
similar,
bedroom. Yeah, one
same.
bedroom, one bathroom. Like I had, this is where I was in life. So this part of this house didn't have a dishwasher. It was just a room,
Oh, you
basically.
poor thing.
So I had to do my dishes in the bathtub, brother. I was living rough, but I had a couple plates, a
Oh,
couple a couple cups, and a couple forks, man, and I had to make it work. I had a
that's
little
where that's where
I
it
can't
goes. Everything's disposable. I'm sorry, Mother
yeah.
Nature. I'm sorry, environmentalists. I'm sorry, EPA, but everything's
I bought
disposable.
this like camping stove. Like it basically looked like a DJ turntable that I could cook food in.
Sure.
Cooked everything I needed right there. Cleaned my dish, cleaned my bowl. Boom. It was just me. So I really only had to clean the stuff that I had. It was very simple.
Yeah,
Man, back when days were simpler, but
simpler
I'm
times.
but now just the blessings are crazy. The
Yeah,
blessings are yeah, I take now over then anytime.
of course. I was just being facetious.
Yeah. Look,
Um, I want to
sometimes
ask
being
you.
young. Yeah.
I want to ask you the greatest life lesson you've learned thus far. Something you want to share. Just pick one. Something you want to
Yeah.
put out there, share with us, share with me.
Yeah.
If there's one lesson in life that you've learned, what would it be?
Mm. So in my life, I've had a couple really, really great opportunities for professionally. So I've had the dream job that I've always wanted or the job that I thought I wanted in that moment. It was on the table. I was close to executing. I was on the goal line. I was close, but in that moment, I didn't do my homework. I wasn't prepared. I didn't do what I needed to do to get the job done. And I was young. I was younger, 20s, early 20s, so I didn't recognize that that was the hole in the game in my game. But as I'm older, obviously you learn from the mistakes. But and I'll be super transparent with the opportunities were the first one was I went through pretty much a three-step process to be a coach at CrossFit Invictus, and I've forgiven them. They're great people, and I've trust me. I'm like I said, I'm where I am now because of not getting this job. But flew out to San Diego, coached a couple classes at Invictus, met all their crew. It was a great time, and obviously just didn't get the job done. So I get home back to Columbus, South Carolina, and I just didn't hear back. Didn't get the job. So boom, that ended up making me pivot to move to Arizona. Great things happened there. The second, but if I'm going back there, I could have done more in my preparation for each class or preparation of what I needed to execute or convey to get the job done. That happened. Two, I get to the third round of a interview process with CrossFit the company to be on their level 1 seminar staff. And great opportunity. I went to 3 different towns and 3 different seminars and got to meet, a lot of the people that do that. I get to the final show and finish the seminar, and they tell me I didn't do enough to get the job. So heartbreaking. That one really hurt. That's what I really wanted to do in that moment. I drove all the way to El Paso, Texas from Phoenix, Arizona, which is like a 7, 8 hour drive. It's a long way to drive home when you're really angry that you didn't execute at the highest level. And then my third lesson and third opportunity was that I had an opportunity to work with a fire department in Arizona. Dream job, great people, met all the firefighters, met, the chief, and got to the final interview. Just wasn't my time. And those 3 opportunities slipped through my hands because I wasn't prepared or I didn't execute at the level that I needed to get there. And now you see those missed opportunities as blessings, but I can see now that I didn't do the necessary work on the front end to execute at a high level when the opportunity presented itself. So the life lesson that if you really want something, the execution starts months before. The being well prepared for what you want, doing everything you can in your power to facilitate your goals. Um, yeah, and sometimes you learn that the hard way, and you don't get the opportunities that you thought you wanted or wanted in those moments. But if you want it, you got to do the work. You got to do the homework. You got to be executing before the test. Yeah.
So your words hopefully are not going in vain. Like I can like I fuck with what you're saying. I
Mm,
totally agree. You have to prepare. Prepare that way when you get to the opportunity to show up, you're successful.
mm,
Like don't take it for granted. Don't get complacent. I mean, these are easier things said than done, right? You can rely on your skill set. No. Can you rely on your preparation? You falter to the level of your preparation. You don't rise to the your level of expectations, right? So it's happened to me a couple of times where I thought I was better than what I was, and I fucked it up. I fucked up. I fucked it up.
yeah.
So I guess you have to go through that, right? That's
Thank
part of life.
thank God. Thank God. Like thank goodness that happened because now I can see and try to do that work on the front end now. And guess what? I still make it may that may happen again.
Sure,
You know,
exactly.
I feel like if you're not putting yourself in those positions, there's no opportunity for growth.
For growth, 100%,
You know,
man. So
so
I'm gonna do
guess
everything in my
what?
power to show up prepared, right?
And guess what? You still might not be lucky enough. Like you might,
You
it.
might fall short.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
but
happens.
that's the beauty of it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. All right, one more question, and then we're about to wrap this up. Two more questions. So,
Okay.
second question, second to last question is, your most immediate goal, right? Time frame 2, 3 months, and then a long-term goal. What? What's so funny?
You you don't make me do this.
Okay, well, say something not as important as what you're
Okay.
about to say, but immediate goal, something you
Okay.
see clearly, a vision for,
Perfect.
and then something later on.
So I think the biggest thing on my schedule coming forward is becoming a dad.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the biggest game day opportunity for me ever. Um, I hope in that moment that I can lead Megan. I can be the leader of our family, even in the childbirth. I know a lot of the work is done on her end, but if I can show up for her in the way that she needs me the most in those moments, I think that's a huge test coming up for me. Um, yeah, just knowing my partner and knowing what she needs to do to get the job done. I'm more facilitating, but I think as a team, like we're going into this with a very team aspect. Like we're one. Like we're on this same page and same team to get the goal done. Megan's very athletically minded, so I think she has that same mindset going in is that this is the objective. We're a team. We got to figure out the way to best facilitate the goal. Um, those those moments that are coming impending of our childbirth and I hope that I can show up the best way I can for Megan. And and that's important to me is that I want to be the man who I say I am in those moments. So that's the biggest goal is like being starting to be a dad and showing up for Megan in that I think is important.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's gonna be your short-term and long-term goal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, a
Yeah,
longer goal is being a dad, but
yeah, yeah,
in that moment, I want to be proud of how I show up for her.
sure. But that's gonna keep on continuing. That process doesn't stop. It never stops. That shit fucking it's never fucking ending.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
I'm being serious.
Mm.
Show up every fucking day, show up every day present and just, be that fucking rock, man.
Yeah, man.
So last question,
Mhm.
you know, mantra. We speak
Yeah.
about mantras all the time. Something when you're in training or something when you're facing adversity, what's that voice in your head that keeps on hammering away to keep you going?
I've got a I've got a couple that I kind of facilitate and loop through.
Okay,
Um,
say it. Share with us. Share
I
those
think
couple.
I think it's Jerry Rice was he was a wide receiver in the NFL. He says you got to do what they won't so you can do what they can't. So nobody wants to do the work. Nobody wants to do the workouts, but you can't have that success without doing the work. You got to do what they want so then you can do what they can't. So when that moment arises where you need your skills, you need your head, you need your body, your brain, your everything that you need, you're prepared to do that. And the people that aren't willing to put in that work will not be ready. And you will be able to perform and people will be able to see physically, mentally that you've done the work when your time was called. So do what they won't so you can do what they can't. I think that's super powerful. And when I'm doing that, when I'm in the thick of it of a workout, I'm like, this is nobody's doing this shit. Like you're doing what you need to do to get closer to what you want. So yeah, do what they won't so you can do what they can't. It's a big one. Um, I just another one. I think the rapper Lil Wayne said this once is that repetition is the father of learning.
Okay.
So reps, repetition, 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 doing the same things over and over. I don't know what it is about my brain that loves the mundane, loves the just the grind of doing the things. Is that if I know that I'm doing the reps, I'm getting, like I said, closer to what I want, but I know that I can't get there without the practice. So I love just doing the work that I like. And I find that when I'm in that zone or in that mode, I'm not thinking at all. So when I'm in, like I'm talking about, as you get into that kind of flow state, is that when you stop thinking. I'm actually reading the book. I think did you read was it called by Tim Grover?
Relentless.
Relentless. I'm in the middle of that.
Yeah,
And
I've read it.
he talks about
Are you
how
a
just
teenager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like talking about when you can stop thinking, like don't think at all, just do.
Mhm.
And I've been kind of thinking about not thinking, but when I'm in that zone, I'm not thinking at all. I love that. I love that being in the pocket or being in the zone, or they call it like, what are they, in the zone, or
Yeah, you said a flow state.
yeah, flow state. Yeah. So I I love that. I love that because my brain is a constant hamster on a wheel, and anything or any task I can do to slow that thing down is what I enjoy. So fuck, I went on a wormhole there, and I don't know where I came out at, but yeah, those are my mantras, man. And at the end of the day, I think I'm really tough on myself, and in those moments where I'm giving my like doing what I need to do, I'm a tough internal judge. Like I'm the toughest on myself. Like if you could record the shit that
Hmm.
I say to myself during a workout or during anything, like I would never say that to my best friend. So
Hmm.
I'm not sure why I would say it to me during the things that I do. Um, but yeah, I think being being harsh on yourself is a double-edged sword. Is that I expect certain things and certain standards of doing things for myself, and I like to hold that expectation. I don't like to let myself down. If you let yourself down, it starts with you, and then it just starts there. You can't let you down.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. There's
So
a
you just
standard
got
I have to meet, and I'm my own worst critic. You can't
yeah.
beat me up like I beat myself up,
Yeah.
So, right. I wouldn't talk to a child the way I talk to myself.
I hope not. I hope I never
No,
say that.
no,
I'm never
no,
like
I
that.
can't. So, so yeah, man, I fuck with it. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your respect. I appreciate your friendship. I
Same here.
appreciate, your hospitality when I was up there in Colombia. Thank you for everything,
Yeah, man.
and the way you treated my family, man. It was like an extension of your families. I mean, I'm just blessed, man. Grateful to have you in my corner, and thank you so
Fuck
much,
you
man.
for making me cry though, dude. I don't really.
Yeah,
You cracked me a little bit there. Yeah, man. I'm super excited to be on this journey with you. Like I said, for any of the people following, if you fuck with anything I was saying, put it into your life. Like I didn't make up any of this. This is all learning from other people. So take this, run with it, and if you have any questions, reach out to me, and I'll be lucky to help.
that's right.
Absolutely, brother.
From myself and Riley, thank you,
Yes.
my man. So, to all the viewers and listeners out there, the Uncivil Mentality Podcast. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of myself, Erik Vidal.
And I'm Reilly Kilbride. Get after it. Get in your gear. Start training. It can never be enough.